What are the necessary values to have to be successful as an entrepreneur? I'm Alex Wehrley, and here to help us answer that question, Jay Rosenzweig. He is the CEO of Rosenzweig and Company. So let's get right to it. What are those core values that are so necessary?
I'd say there are three keys to success in entrepreneurship, and for that matter, in life.
Okay.
Sincerity, being a giving person, and nurturing relationships, being really a strong relationship person.
I love them. And, you know, they seem so obvious, but yet not everyone practices them. So we're going to really bring it down to earth here and break it down, what they each mean. Let's start with sincerity. How does that show up in your business as an entrepreneur?
I find that it's extremely important to be sincere. First of all, when you're not sincere and you're trying to be someone else, it's so stressful. It sucks up so much of your energy, and it's energy you shouldn't be working with. And people can read through when you're not being sincere. I've always found that if you find your lane and you work within that lane, that's a path to success, both in life and in business. I can give you an example. I remember a friend of mine smiling and showing me a note which her daughter gave her one morning when she had a presentation. And basically the note said, "Good luck, Mommy. Be yourself."
Oh.
Because after all, everyone else is taken. And I think, you know, that's kind of a deep statement, but it means a lot.
Yeah, and it would seem like it would be easy just to be yourself, but sometimes it's really hard, right? Because we want to impress people, you know, we want to move forward with our business, so sometimes it's tempting to mold ourselves to be a chameleon, right?
People get so caught up in trying to chase the trend or chase what the hottest personality might be at any given point in time. But I find when you act yourself and you're sincere and you're authentic, and you have a business that is authentic, people will come, people will follow you, people will want to be part of it.
Yeah, I think another place that's really important to be sincere is with your intentions too, right? And what are you wanting to get out of this interaction?
Precisely. And the more pure you are, really the better off you'll be. And that probably is a good segue into the next key point, and that is giving. My philosophy is to give, and to give really without keeping tabs. Because again, when you're giving but you're keeping tabs, you're not being pure. There's a lack of sincerity there. And when you give without any preconditions, first of all, I always find that you get so much more back, even karmically, and you have inner peace. And I think it's a really special thing if you're able to achieve that kind of philosophy on life. As the philosopher Maimonides once said, when you give and when you contribute to the world in a positive way, you help to tip that scale onto the good side.
Tell me an example of a situation where you gave in a really pure way and it really came back to help you.
Well, there were many cases where I've gone beyond the call of duty in my talent acquisition business. I'm in the executive talent acquisition business. And rather than just simply staying in my lane, if I'm working, for example, with an entrepreneur or an emerging growth business, if I'm able to, in addition to working on a particular assignment, help a company through an introduction without expecting anything in return, which results in business, I'm more than happy to do that. If I'm able to introduce an investor to one of my clients and they end up having a tremendous relationship, it's not all about over the short term what's in it for me. These things come back to you in a big way, and then you eventually will have these same investors and business people coming to you and inviting you into other relationships.
That's a great way to segue into the last one of relationship building. That was an example right there of how you build relationship through being generous and not necessarily expecting anything in return. What are some other ways to relationship build?
So relationships are so fundamental to anything we do in life. And it's important not to forget the important relationships you have as you're busy in whatever particular project you're working on or particular phase you are in life. So there are various hubs of relationships one has, as a business partner of mine would describe. And it's important to water each one of those hubs so that they will continue sprouting in a very, very productive way. It's all about bringing more to the table than perhaps you might have committed to or promised to, but putting a smile on people's faces, whether it be in business or in life, so that ultimately, from a karmic standpoint and even a cosmic point of view, it brings positivity to your own world in a small way and even to the universe in a much bigger way.
Yeah, I love everything you're saying, and I think it's really important when you first form a relationship. It can be really tempting to just reach out once or maybe lead with what you need, but I think the best way to take an acquaintance or a person you've met for the first time and turn it into a friendship or a partnership in business is to really, really nurture that relationship and kind of ask, what can I do for them, right?
Right, absolutely. I recently read a quote, I think it was from Charles Dickens, who said, "Business, business. Mankind is my business." And I think that's a profound statement because it reminds us that we need to think bigger than the bottom line, as important as the bottom line is. But after all, business and life is really about people.
Right, and it comes back to, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this business? It's usually, for most entrepreneurs, for a greater cause and to provide a solution and to help people.
And more today, fortunate for us, as younger generations begin to work within the business world, social impact is something that is front and center and front of mind. I think it's an amazing thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much to my guest, Jay Rosenzweig. He is the CEO of Rosenzweig & Company.